Hey, so if you follow me on Twitter, you will have seen that I've been very, very, very vocal about the Old Town Road meet and greet and the system and everything that went off. So a few people said just put it in a video. So here it is. I went to the Birmingham show. I got meet and greet free through the Hustler Club. I'll start by explaining why I was there, because a lot of people were coming at me on Twitter and things because, if you hated it so much, why were you there? I've loved Old Town Road for 8 years, and I wanted to go see them one more time before I just basically gave up on them, because I don't like their new music, I don't like the way things are being run. So I was like, right, I'll go one more time and then I'm done, because I've loved them for so long. And I was like, right, I'll try and get the meet and greet because I want to get a picture with the band I've loved for 8 years. So I bought my ticket. I had my Hustler Club membership in date anyway, so I was like, right, I might as well apply for the free one. So I did. I applied for the free one and got awarded the free one, which is fine. Free meet and greet, great. They then announced that the meet and greet was going to cost £50 if you didn't get it for free, and that the system was going to change from the old one where you kind of went in, the band were just chilling, you chilled with them and got photos with each member, to the more traditional, American step-up group photo thing. And everyone was like, right, fine. But some questions came up when it announced that it got changed. Why were they changing it when it worked fine anyway? And the random half-paid thing was a good idea. But they then changed the system to get more people in, basically. And that sucks. Firstly, that sucks. No. But I'll come on to the meet and greet thing later. That was the background of it anyway, they changed it and things. It used to be good, it's now terrible. I'll get to that. Right. So, I'm kind of going to jump forward past the meet and greet a bit for the first part of this video, because the Old Town Road fans were very, very, very rude to Creeper, who were supporting Old Town Road. At my show, there was literally people booing Creeper for their whole set. That is rude. I get it. Creeper are different to Old Town Road. You might not like their music. Fine. Do you need to disrespect them while they are playing? Hell no. Booing is rude. I saw stories from other dates of people deliberately dropping crowd surfers that were coming over for Creeper. Again, not okay. I saw stories of people being violent to Creeper fans for enjoying Creeper. No, that's all wrong. Respect the support band, and if people are there that enjoy the support band, respect them. Okay? Support band thing done. So, the next two parts of this video, I'm just going to kind of talk through what happened with the meet and greet and things, and my opinion on it, and then the backlash from everyone, to me personally, and the general theme of the comments going around about the meet and greet. Right, so, for the meet and greet, obviously I got it for free. Some people paid £50 for this. It was £50 for the meet and greet, I'd like to point out. It was advertised as meet and greet throughout everything. The website was meet and greet, Hustler meet and greet, here's what to do for your Hustler meet and greet. I might insert some screenshots just to prove a point that it was advertised as a meet and greet, okay? So we were told to be at the venue no later than 3:30 for meet and greet check-in, which we were, everyone was there, fine. We didn't get let inside until about 4:15 when they started taking names and things. We got there and they were like, no, it starts at 4:30. We've been told 3:30, so straight away we were like, what's going on here? There's not going to be enough time. So we went in about 4:15. Bear in mind, everyone else was being let into the Arena Bowl at 6. So a meet and greet was supposed to come with early entry. So we got in, they started taking all our names and things. It took them absolutely ages to take everyone's name and get everyone in. But by the time everyone was in, we waited half an hour still for the band to come out. I'll get to that. So they took our names, and there was a pile of lanyards on the table. So they took our names, and on the list, mine said lanyard, no. So I was like, why don't I get a lanyard? And they're like, we don't know, you just don't. So I asked the security, do I not get one? They're like, ask the band's management, they're over there. So I went and asked the manager, and he was just like, no, if you got it for free, you don't get it. which is stupid. Everyone's paid the Hustler membership in the first place. Then some people have paid £50 on top. But the Hustler thing is supposed to be a perk, but you don't get as much in it as the paid one, which, whatever. So we all got in. We checked our names in first because we were first in the queue and we'd been there for hours. So we checked our names in first. We were then stood for about a good half hour before any of the band's like crew or anyone came out. And then when someone to do with the band did come out, he started giving us like the briefing for the meet and greet. Like, he came out and he just started shouting at everyone. Like, yeah, I get it, raise your voice so everyone can hear you, but not that much. And he was just talking down to everyone, and he was speaking in like a tone that you would talk to a child in, like to the whole queue, like treating us like absolute stupid idiots basically. And he was just like talking down to us, and he felt the need to repeat everything like 4 times. And one thing that he said, I know for a fact, has really, really, really bugged a lot of people. And he came in, and the first thing he said was, right, this is not a meet and greet, it's a photo opportunity. Excuse me, mate, throughout this whole thing, this has been advertised as a meet and greet. You can't walk in and say that the thing we've paid for it to be is not the thing we've paid and expecting it to be. No, and there is pure difference between photo op, meet and greet. To me, and to a lot of people, a meet and greet is like a decent conversation with each member, probably like a minimum of like 30-second conversation with each member. That's a meet and greet, and then get a photo and things, sign and things. That's a meet and greet. A photo op is literally just walk up, take the photo, leave, which is what this was pretty much. So you've advertised it as a meet and greet, and then you've said it's a photo op, and you're running it as a photo op. Wrong. Just no, don't do that. So that was the first thing, and then he was just talking down to us, and he was like, you're gonna have to speak to the guys as you're walking over to them. Like, you literally, as soon as you got in front of them, it was like, photo, signatures, done. It was... No. I'm looking down a lot, because I have a list of shit that annoyed me down here. So yeah, he was just like, talk to them as you're walking up. And I heard stories of him literally shouting at people, saying like, speak then, if people weren't saying things as they were walking over to the guys. Like, oh my god, no, that's so... It's just petty. It's really, really, really stupid. So then, right, I got my chance to meet the guys. I went in 3rd, I think? Yeah, because Merlin and the Canadian... Yeah, I went in 3rd. And the guy took my notebook off me that I was going to get signed. And in my notebook I have like loose pages from like other gigs and things. So I was like, could you please just be careful with that, it's got loose pages in it. And this guy literally just grunted at me and took my notebook and dropped one of the pages. So I went down to pick it up, and he moaned at me for bending down to pick it up. He was like, carry on. And I literally told him there was loose pages in it, and as he was handing it to the guy to sign, he was just like throwing it all over the place and not being careful with it at all. Like, someone's autograph book is like one of their prized possessions. Be careful with that shit. Like, that's their stuff, and something that means a lot to them. You should be careful with it, especially if they've told you there's loose pages in it. Don't just throw it around. So that was... Literally, that is also like the one good point I have about this meet and greet against the signing that I went to last year. They let you get like one item, granted, but whatever item you wanted signed. So you could take like anything you wanted to get signed. Unlike last year where you had to get the poster they gave you signed, this year you could get anything signed, which I did like. I did like that point. But it's, in the big picture, not that important. So walked up, literally they don't even try to speak to you really. Like, every member just said to me, hi, how are you? And that was it. Like, no conversation, 5 seconds with each member. It's a bit shit. So then they sign while they're speaking to you, and then they take a picture. But what I did was I walked away without like getting the picture, and Alex was just like, you want a photo? And I was like, yeah, thank you for actually reminding me that I've not got a photo, because it looked like your management was just going to let me walk away without the photo. So I walk back, they take the picture, they take your phone to take a picture, but you have to have it like ready on camera mode and sorted, and everything has to be done in like the blink of an eye like that. So went back, took the picture. They take a professional picture and a picture on your phones, but they take them at the same time. So everyone's looking at the professional one, no one's looking at the phone one, and from what I've seen, a lot of people's pictures on their phones were blurry, members were cropped out, and no one was looking. I'll insert some examples. And the other thing, like, as you were talking to the band, they just seemed so unhappy. Like, I've heard things like, oh, they're lovely, they're really cheery. They didn't seem like that. They seemed really, really unhappy. And I get it, it's stressful having to meet that many people, like, each day and things, but if you can't do it, don't put that many people in your meet and greets. It's not that hard. Literally, they seemed so unhappy and they were barely speaking to anyone and they seemed stressed, and that's not right. That's not right for a band. They're human. Just don't put that many people in the meet and greet if you can't handle it. So we came out and then they made us wait like around the side of where the meet and greet was happening, but in like the same like corridor thing, and they moaned at us for going over to the loo because like as you went to the loo you could see the band and whatever, but they moaned at us for going to the loo, which was a bit stupid. And this is on the arena as well though, they tried to tell me I couldn't get tap water from anywhere. They tried to tell me that I would have to wait until the bars open, go into the arena, then come back out of the arena to get like a bottle of water from the bar and pay. And I was like, no, I feel lightheaded, I need some tap water now. And they were just like, oh, there's nowhere for you to get any. And eventually I was like, look, I feel lightheaded, I get migraines easily, I know my limits, I just need some water. And eventually they went and got me some, but it took me like 3 times of asking before I could even get some tap water. But that's on the arena, that's not on Autumn Low, that's nothing to do with them, I get that. So we came out, and then we were waiting, after everyone had met the band, we were waiting about 45 minutes before we went into the arena bowl. So that half hour we were waiting before and 45 minutes we were waiting afterwards, surely the band could have still been meeting people, but the band were only out for like half an hour to meet 100 people. Couldn't they have given us a little bit more time so we actually got a bit of a conversation and you didn't have to yell at them? It's kind of a bit of a dodgy one, really. The other thing that I've seen a lot of people complain about is you couldn't give the band gifts personally, which in the old style meet and greet where it was just like a chill in a room, you could give them gifts and whatever, but now you have to just leave them on a table, and to be honest, the band probably don't even get them. You just have to leave them, and yeah, it's all really dodgy, and they've not even tried to hide the fact that they've just crammed more people in to make more money, because this was £50. I'll keep saying that. Some people paid £50 for this, and I'm so happy I didn't, but my friend Merlin did, and she came out and said it was crap. So people have been saying like actual All Time Low fans would kill for this. Yeah, no they wouldn't. Actual All Time Low fans have been coming out and saying it's crap. I met a Canadian girl who supported All Time Low for like 10 years. She'd seen them like 350 times. She came out and said it was crap. So it's not the whole actual All Time Low fans would love it. No, a hell of a lot of actual All Time Low fans are disappointed because they paid £50 for this. I heard a phrase said quite a lot, and a lot of people were using disappointed but not surprised. If you're hardcore fans and not surprised that you are doing this kind of shit, there is a problem there. There is such a problem there. And I keep being treated like I'm the minority with this opinion, but I'm really not, because I went into that meet and greet third. So 97 people went in after me, and most of them people came out of it looking disappointed because I saw them coming out and they were like, whoa, that was so rushed, and they were annoyed about it. So, and I've seen so many people annoyed on Twitter, it's not just me. So many people came out of that looking so angry and disappointed, and it was stupid. So the show, great, fine, whatever. Don't like the new stuff, rest of the show is great. So Wrong It's Right, amazing, but right. We'll continue to after the gig. So we waited afterwards because I was like, this is the last time I'm coming. I actually have a chance to wait afterwards now because I have a hotel. So we waited afterwards, and we were there for about like a good 2 hours. And I think it was Alex and Ryan came off and got on the bus and didn't even acknowledge us. So they got on the bus. The security kept giving us mixed messages like, oh, they've all left, or they're not, whatever. Which annoys me when they do that, because like we know they're on the bus. And as like the last security guard on duty left and got in a car, he tried to be like, oh, they've all gone. And we were just like, no, there's 2 of them on the bus. And he got in this car and he was like, to the guy who picked him up, he was like, ah, they think they've seen Alex. And we were like, we think we know what the band we've loved for years look like. We think we know what the band we've just paid to see look like. And the security were just really talking down to us afterwards. And again, that's on the arena, that's a separate. But that was just, it's like, we think we know, but the band just completely ignored us. And we were just like, how hard is it? By the time we left, there was 4 of us, and how hard is it for like Alex or one member to come over and just quickly say hi, quickly take a selfie with 4 people? It's not that hard, but they don't even do that. So as someone who's seen the singer of a band that played the same venue in London last year that All Time Low played this year, spend 3 hours with fans after a gig, and then to wait after All Time Low and not even get a wave, it's a bit annoying for me, because I've seen other bands do it so well and we just got ignored by All Time Low completely. And a similar problem happened to what happened in Birmingham last year. We were stood on the other side of the road, the buses, obviously, because there was no barriers or anything up. So we were stood on the other side of the road, and there was one of those barriers that's like on the edge of the pavement, just one of those, like open at either end. And we went and stood when there was 7 of us at that point. We went and stood around the other side of this barrier, still on the other side of the road, on the tiny bit of curb about this wide on the other side. We went, security immediately came over and were like, you can't do that. So we turned around and just went, what if we want to stand in the middle of the road? And we weren't even allowed to wander around there, because 7 of us just sat there waiting for a band are so fucking dangerous. We can't stand on the other side of a barrier, like 2 millimeters closer to the band than we were. Like, it's fucking pathetic. We're not dangerous. We were sat there being really chill. All Time Low fucking know the Canadian girl I was with by name, so no, she's not just gonna rape them or something. And we were literally just like, oh, we're not gonna steal from the band, we're not gonna attack the band. And we were just like, why are we being treated like cattle, having to be behind this little barrier? Like, why? It's really bad, like, when bands treat their fans like that bad and just think that you can't stand 2 millimeters closer on the other side of a barrier. It's pathetic. Again, I've seen bands meet people, singers of bands meet people, like 150 people with no fucking barriers. There was 7 of us, and they were making us stand behind this little barrier. And it's just like, no, it's stupid. Literally, you cannot meet All Time Low anymore unless you pay. And then when you do pay, you pay a ridiculous amount, and it's crap. That's literally the case now, and it sucks. Because I never had the old school meet and greet, but I know it used to be so much different. Like, you used to just chill with the band, and it was free once you paid for Hustler membership. For this new system, you have to pay for Hustler membership, and then it's £50 on top of that. Like, it's pathetic. You can't meet them unless you pay. And everyone's like, oh, it's not band's fault, that's label and management's fault. Yeah, the band chose to go with that label, even though the label are known for doing this a lot. But the band still went with them, and there is things the band could do. The label and management can't completely stop them just going out to meet fans after a gig for 2 minutes. The label and management can't stop them doing that. That is on the band, mainly. The afterwards thing. The paid meet and greets before, it's a mix of both. But there is certain things the band could do, but they weren't by the looks of it. I will give Alex some credit. He responded to a girl on Twitter saying they are sorting it out, which I understand, but I want to see something done for the people that have been to this last tour that have been disappointed, because there was a lot of people. And yeah, a lot of fans have been disappointed, but a lot of fans have also started on me, which I'll get to in a minute. Right, so I was talking about how like rude All Time Low fans are earlier, and I'm going to carry on a little bit with that because the backlash from this has been ridiculous. People were being sent like death threats on Twitter for having this opinion that the meet and greet was bad, and the backlash from it got ridiculous. But there was a lot of people disappointed with it. But what I saw a lot was these disappointed people being labelled as ungrateful or not real fans. That's not true. You're allowed to have your opinion. £50 for some of these like older people like me is like a day's work. So that's just like a day's work for 17 seconds with another human. It's not right. But, and then if you complain about that, you get like people who don't know any better just moaning at you and coming for you online and calling you not real fans or ungrateful, and that's not true. It's really not. You're allowed to be disappointed. Literally, even Alex has acknowledged that there's problems with the system. So it's... people are too overprotective over All Time Low, and that's part of the reason I've left, because I really, really hate the fan base. To be honest, like, you're not connected with All Time Low unless you have like money to spend, and that's silly. Like, bands should give back to their fans, and I've seen it. It is possible. So yeah, it's... and the fans shouldn't behave like that towards other fans. It's really silly, and it got really petty at times. And the amount of people messaging me and tweeting me and causing shit and questioning like why I went if I thought it was so crap was ridiculous. My mentions just didn't stop for like 3 days. They're still going, in fact, and today is a week since the gig. So yeah, and yeah, I'm still ranting, but I felt like it needed to be said. And the point I keep seeing on Twitter was that a lot of people value a conversation with their idols more than a picture. But it seems like All Time Low, and a lot of the music industry in general that do these paid meet and greets, thinking that a photo is more valuable than a conversation, which to a lot of people it isn't. To a lot of people, yeah, that photo is like everything. They post it everywhere, it's everything. But that's normally people that don't know better. And that's the issue, because the All Time Low fan base did know better, because they used to have the full conversation and the photos. So the All Time Low fan base did know better, so have a right to complain. But yeah, it seems in the music industry, people that don't know better are just fine with these horrific prices for just a picture. But to a lot of people, a conversation with their idols does mean a lot more than a picture. Like, I have so many pictures with Yumi at 6, but the memories that I have from those encounters that those pictures have come from are more important than that picture. That picture is just a physical, well, like physical/digital representation of that memory, but that memory is still there and it's important. And it's like that, like I said, it's like that with a lot of people, and a lot of people believe that a picture is just a representation of a memory. And I saw someone say on Twitter, like, how much can that picture mean? How much is it worth if the memory behind it is a bad one of disappointment and like anger? So that's very accurate. Like, how much does it mean if it's really bad? How much does that picture mean? And it can't mean a lot if the memory behind it is bad. So yeah, I keep seeing there's still people getting angry at people for being disappointed, and I don't think that's right. Like, you have a right to an opinion about this, and I know, like, oh, you don't have to post your opinion, but I feel like people should have the right to post their opinion, and this is my opinion on it. And I think it was awful. I think it was way too rushed. I think it was way too overpriced. I think there should have been less people in the first place. I think the system can work if they have less people and more time, but I think the old system was a lot better. So that's my opinion. That's my bit of a rant. Don't come at me for it.